Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
We are the weirdos, mister.
Black as night, erase death from our sight. White as light, mighty hectate make it right. I myself am strange and unusual.
Cast a circle, spark some incense, and grab a cup of tea. It's time for the Coven Podcast. I'm Sharon.
And this is Wendy. Welcome back to the Coven, you guys. We're so happy to have you here today. So, I'm excited because today we have like a whole room full of people.
We do. We've got not just one guest, we have two guests today.
Yes. So today I have my daughter, Clarissa.
Hi.
And my other sort of daughter, or person. I'm going to call you my person. My child, Taylor.
Hey.
East Coast child.
East Coast child.
East Coast represent.
That's right. Taylor is our good special guest. I'm really excited that you are here today, and I thank you so much for coming to enjoy the festivities.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here on this good Dia de los Muertos.
Yes.
And for Halloween or Samhain festivities.
Yes, it's great. It's been a minute since we've had people on the show.
It is. You might recognize Claire. You've been on our show before.
Yeah.
We talked about scrying. So It is always fun to have guests and liven up the coven for everybody. So,
yes.
Yay!
So I think for the ambiance of today, we're just going to kind of change things up for you guys. I don't really have any news. Did you have any news going on in the world or updates or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, we could talk about how Halloween just happened, and that's about it. Like, it's literally the day after Halloween.
Yeah, for us, it's the day after Halloween. For you guys, it's November 4th.
Right? So I hope everyone's Halloween was good during this Corona times.
Yeah, and that you enjoyed the full moon.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. But I think we're going to ask you some questions, Taylor, and we can just kind of talk about things that we talk about on the show normally. So did you want to tell us about yourself?
So I'm a fresh and funky human who is, I'd say, rather a novice to the magic world. I started getting into it when I met Claire, really. So she's helped me enlighten myself to the other planes of existence and universes. So I'm really trying to get back to my roots, and everybody's been really welcoming in my process. So that's great.
Yeah,
it's
so exciting. Yes, I love when you can wake other witches up, so I'm sure that was fun. How did that happen?
Well, we were friends, and I think it was because we had a shared dream. Yeah, we had a shared dream, and that just, like, sparked it.
That's so cute.
But also, I think you watching ghost shows helped a lot.
I mean, I do go to bed to Ghost Adventures. Yeah. I don't know if this is a spotlight feature. It's a trash show. So, come at me, Zach Bagans. But
we talk about how sometimes we think he's hot, but the show is trash, but we watch it. So it's just like a love-hate.
Right. It's kind of like what I assume for normal people is watching the Kardashians.
Oh, yes.
For sure. Yeah. It's a little over the top.
After I've watched Kardashians, I'll just start to hate myself in my life a little bit. Why can't I just have a bunch of money and go skiing whenever I want? It's not healthy.
It wouldn't be skiing. Let's be realistic. No. It would be ghost hunting for sure.
That's what I always think. I would do such cooler things if I had that money and power and time.
Yeah. You're like, new butt, no thanks.
No. I'm going
I need the best ghost hunting equipment the world can buy.
And all the crystals.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I saw the most amazing crystal this week. We went antique shopping, and in the window was one of those ginormous, 3-foot tall amethysts.
Oh, was that downtown?
Yeah, at Engelberg's Antiques.
Okay.
And do you want to guess the price of a 3-foot tall, gorgeous, amazing amethyst?
Okay, I'm just going to guess. I don't know if I'm going to overguess or underguess.
Okay.
But, this is Price is Right. How about, was it 10,000?
No, less.
Okay, 3,000.
less.
Really?
I am impressed with you right now because I thought it was expensive. $995.
Okay, let's go get that. That's what? One paycheck? Let's go.
There was an even bigger one that was like twice the size, I feel like. It wasn't as tall, but it was taller than the other one, but it was like wider as well. And that one was a couple grand.
Okay, so I really don't know how much crystals are worth.
Yeah.
Great.
Someone
could really just take my money and make me overpay for crystals.
Yeah. So
They do.
it was a lot of fun.
Some shops definitely do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? I spent $36 on a crystal.
Yes.
I thought it was $25.
She bought the most amazing.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
It was a Caribbean calcite.
Yeah.
How big was it?
It was like this big. The size of like a golf ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it had a
That's
Halloween
expensive.
face on it.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
I
a
mean,
little
like
pumpkin.
it was a little pumpkin.
That is expensive.
Yeah. But I was expecting to pay $25, and by me, I mean my boyfriend. He bought it for me, and he was like, "Your limit is $25." So when they were like, "Oh, it's $36," he looked at me, but like he still bought it.
He's like, at this point where you're not saying no, that's awkward.
I don't want her to cry. Oh, okay, Taylor. So I think we have some sets of questions for you. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, let's
Sharon?
interrogate you all about your fun natures. I like to talk about signs a lot. We always talk about how we're water signs here, Pisces. So I'm kind of curious, what is your astrological sign or element?
So, if we're going to go through the top 3, so my sun is Gemini,
Okay.
my moon is Aries, and my rising is Virgo.
I am so impressed.
Right?
I don't even know that
I
about
don't know
myself.
mine.
Holy
Right.
crap, that's amazing. Okay, that's...
It's also part of my Tinder profile, so everybody knows how to align themselves with me for the best match.
Nice.
I love looking at that. Like, whenever I meet a new partner in life, that'll be my first obsession. It's like,
Yeah.
what do these signs go like together? And what are the
Yeah.
bad things? And how can you make it work?
Right.
What is the compatibility?
So what can you tell us about your signs and, like, how does it influence your personality, I guess?
So I definitely had the dual facets of the Gemini, because I'll be like hot and cold and like impulsive, and I'm like, oh, but emotions. Imagine I'm tossing my non-existent hair because I'm very flippant about them. And so I dated a Cancer, and that was tough because Cancers cry a lot, as we all know. Very emotional.
We can relate.
Yeah.
As Pisces.
So it wasn't quite the best match. So I do hearken to a lot of the Gemini quick wit and intelligence in requiring that in my life. I haven't really gone much into the others, mainly because I just find being a Gemini so fun. And I know I'm a hated sign, but haters are gonna hate, and I'm just gonna live my best life as a Gemini.
I love it.
I can relate. I think as the Pisces, we have that duality. It's usually like the two fish swimming in opposing directions. So, yeah, we get it.
Yeah. Extremely emotional over here. Yeah.
I'm just like, we're gonna put that in the repression file box.
Yeah. I'm going to deal with this later when I got
Shadow
time.
work box.
Yeah.
I always joke about how, like, my list of shadow work things I need to work on and just, like, go back and do keeps growing and growing longer than it is that I'm, like, crossing them out.
And you're like, oh no, I crossed off 5, but now I've got 10 more.
Yeah.
So let's ask you this. So do you consider yourself a witch?
A novice at best.
Okay.
So I don't have a lot of materials in my house. Like, I have incense, but I could definitely beef up my stash. And I'm starting to work with nature more, because Wendy was so nice to do a tarot reading for me the other day, and the universe clearly spoke. I need to get back to nature and my childlike roots. So there's room for improvement always, but I don't really come from a understanding world. I come from a conservative world, so it's unconditioning that is what I really need to focus on.
Yeah, and I can get that, like, being hesitant to maybe even claim a label, like, for a while people always just want to like, oh, you're Wiccan, and I have to be like, no, like I read a lot about Wicca and I practice a lot of Wiccan things, but maybe I'm just a witch or maybe I'm just a pagan. Like, you know, maybe you're not so ready to just be like, yes, I am this thing because you're just starting. But we always talk about how you don't have to have stuff to be a witch. You don't have to have all this background, like occult mastery knowledge. Like, it really is about trusting that intuition. And so when you're saying going back to nature, I love that, because like that is where you tap into being a kid, or just like enjoying the sunshine on your skin, or running around, and I don't know, just tapping into yourself and to nature. That is like the perfect roots, I think, for any novice witch to like get into it.
Yeah.
So what about nature do you love the most? Like, would you choose water or forests or deserts? Like, what kind of nature landscapes?
So ever since I've been a kid, I was always a water baby. So it's been an inherent connection to our liquid friend. So if I need to rejuvenate my life force or just to feel better, I find the nearest body of water and then like faceplant in it because I need that whole body experience. So have I definitely laid in trash-ridden creeks just to feel something? Yes. Did I smell bad? Also yes. But there's just something so full-body calming about water for me that I have to, wherever I live, I have to have at least one body, stream, creek, something in a mile so I can go connect with it when I'm having a bad day.
That's awesome.
I get that.
Yeah. It sounds like bath time magic would be something you would naturally love.
Oh, bath times are a marathon. If it's under 3 hours, I'm not myself.
Do you like ever watch movies in the bath? I've done that.
So I bring water. I have a good smorgasbord of snacks. I have a charger.
Snack time in bath? I've not done that yet.
Yeah, me
So
either.
there's like levels of snack time. So popcorn is really great in the bath.
I've never thought of
But
This is so good.
also, like, I really enjoy a bath wine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this I've done.
Yes.
But shower beer. There's
Okay.
spots and times for your alcohol uses in your bath time rituals.
Okay.
That's so cute. But shower is for the beer.
I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
So we kind of realized that Claire might be a credit to what led you to witchcraft, but is there more to it than that, or what was the topic that you kind of like were most interested in?
So I've always had really good sleep-focused witchcraft, I guess. So I have a lot of vivid dreams, and I used to keep a dream journal until it ruined my sleep habit because I would wake up every like 5 minutes to write something down. But a lot of my abilities right now are tied to sleep. I just, probably because the vulnerability of it makes me more open to it. So Claire and I got connected through my dream where I had anxiety. She sent good vibes and I felt better.
I remember like seeing myself astrally project into your room, and like I just remember like connecting through that over your bed.
I remember that the nightmare that I was having
Something to do with the wolf.
I
Maybe
would
I'm
have
thinking
to
of
check the
something.
journal, honestly. But even with how I connect to past lives is always dream-based, and how I connect to my friends is dream-based. So it really started with my sleep patterns. And my mom told me a story when I was probably 2 or 3. I was speaking in foreign tongues in my sleep, and she was like, "Why is my child creepy?"
Wow, dude, that's so cool.
So,
like, that's one of those signs of
I have good past recollection, and I remember another dream. I had specific knowledge of where Wendy used to live.
Yeah.
What?
I kind of remember this, but I
have it in my notes,
Yeah.
so we can bring it back up
yeah.
at another point, because I can't remember which number it is.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're dreaming, do you think you're just getting like, you're going back and forth between time maybe? Or how does that work?
I think it just gives me specific blips of things in which myself or others have experienced. Or it also it's mainly a past thing. So right now my recall is past. It's not so much premonition. I could probably work on that with my third eye abilities and get better with recall. But usually when I have dreams that aren't like, I have to have a lifetime supply of underwear to go on the Sherbert ship to Moonland. When it's not that, it's usually just things that have happened or specific anxieties that will come up later, which also ties into deja vu during my waking time.
I do feel like deja vu for me is like a dream.
Yeah.
Like it's something I saw, like really quick in a dream. Have you ever thought of astral projection or?
I don't have good enough protection elements in my house to try it, and I don't want to get lost. So I would have to beef up my stash before trying to project.
It sounds like you have good ability with lucid dreaming too.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Sometimes detrimentally, but that's only few and far between, thankfully.
I felt like lucid dreaming for me kind of helped me get out of nightmares. I don't know if that's ever helped you or...
Occasionally it will help me like replay things. So like if I'm having a really cool dream where I'm hanging out with celebrities, I'm like, let's rewind so I can do this again. But if the dream is really vividly intense and a terrible topic, I have a block which doesn't allow me to escape, which is like, oh, that's cute. Thanks.
I wonder what the subconscious is trying to show you. Like, why is it forcing the situation?
Right. Can we just talk about your pin for a minute on your hat? It's like Mothman.
Yes. So I'm from Southwest Pennsylvania, which is really close to West Virginia, and I've planned this entire weekend haunt where we go to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, Mount Pleasant, touch Mothman's shiny butt.
Sounds nice.
The West Penn for West Virginia, which is also really haunted. So
that'd be sweet.
That is like our kind of daydreams. We're always like, where can we go to that's close by and see all these places? It would be really cool to go see like the bridge, since there's all that paranormal activity tied to the Mothman Bridge and all that, and the Mothman Museum. Oh my gosh, that'd be really cute.
Yeah, like all over that.
they have Mothman pancakes and I believe a pizzeria as well.
Oh
Yes,
the
I've
Mothman
seen
pizza.
that.
We do like.
Shout out to Mount Pleasant, West Virginia for your cute food items.
I love it.
That's awesome. So you'd be a believer of cryptids then?
I do believe in the cryptids. Loch Ness, Nessie, my homegirl, she's my wife. And Mothman's my husband. We're in a polyamorous relationship.
I love this.
Have not seen Big Man yet. Bigfoot.
I mean, yeah.
Big Man, Bigfoot.
I just knew exactly who you meant.
Yeah.
Have not seen him yet in my Western wanderings. So slightly upset, but you know, I'm holding out hope that he'll come to me in a dream and he'll tell me the secrets, or her. We don't know.
Yeah, we really don't know.
They'll tell me their secrets, and I will get some insight into the wondrous world of the Bigfoots.
Yeah. What other cryptids do you think you believe in?
So I do love the big ones. I don't know if aliens count.
Okay, but do you believe in aliens then?
So, do I believe in aliens? Yes. It would be silly not to at this point. The universe is infinite. So we can't be narcissistic and be like, we're the only planet that has life. Do I believe they've come down to America? No, because why would you want to come to America?
To probe our anuses. That's what they're here for.
I would suggest for aliens to make sure they bathe. So maybe ladies to probe.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I've known a few men who don't understand the importance of washing.
I've heard that this is a common thing.
Okay, I've just not experienced
Me
it.
neither.
God bless.
There was like some post that I heard this drag queen was like laughing about on Reddit that wife was like writing in like, how can I convince my husband to wipe his butt? He thinks it's gay to touch his own butt, and like
Oh
there were all
gosh.
these women like commenting like, yes, mine too. It's like
What?
Men, please wipe.
I have been sheltered because I have not heard this.
yeah, I haven't experienced it firsthand, but
I heard about the dude who said that he had sex with an alien, but not what you're talking about. I'm like,
this is what shocks you.
yeah.
Is dirty man butts.
I'm like, what? I'm all alien sex. Yes, I'm in. Do you... Oh, let's talk about crystals and stones and herbs. Do you have any favorite ones that might be... that you, like, would love to either learn about or you feel drawn to, or...
So, I love opal.
Okay,
Me
that's great.
too.
Like, I know it's not part of my signs. I know Gemini/June is pearl, but like trash. Opal just is so magically beautiful. She looks like the universe, and I love space. Space is great. NASA, if you're hiring. So
you're assuming that NASA is listening to us. I mean, maybe my conspiracy brain says yes, but...
I mean, the NSA is always listening, so
This
I
is
don't
true.
see why not other government
true.
agencies wouldn't want to get in on this.
To the NSA dude who is listening, stop messing with my audio.
Right? Always losing our audio whenever we talk about Roswell.
Yes.
And aliens.
He's like, they don't need to put this out.
Basically.
But a lot of precious metals, unfortunately, I do have an allergy to. And for herbs, I'm just getting into it. I am a plant mom, so my aloe vera is very important to me, and I know it has a lot of good cleansing properties. So Steven, my aloe, is really important, and he's going strong. So he's
That's
like
cool.
5 years old now.
That's
So
cool.
Do you use his little stuff for healing or anything like that?
I definitely use it for like outside skin things. So like when I cut myself, which is frequent. I'm not very good with knives. Very bad at
Look at
cooking.
this.
So I use him for that. But otherwise, I just like my plants for the purification spirits in my house. And I like to collect them as well.
Yeah. It's great.
So not so much herbs, but whole bushes.
Okay.
Wendy and I can't seem to keep plants alive.
No.
So I wish I just had like a menagerie of plants. But I also have cats who just like to go chomp on them and destroy them.
Yes. Some of the good ones that do stay alive are kind of toxic, so you can't really...
Yeah, it's like only certain kinds you can have around them.
I'm doing really well with the 2 cactuses my dad gave me.
Oh, okay. Sorry to discredit you.
No.
I'm also very proud of the amount of jade plants in this house.
Oh, but those
Yeah.
aren't mine.
Those are mine.
Yeah,
I just
Clarissa.
haven't taken them to the new place.
Yeah, so Clarissa recently moved, but she left all of her jade plants. And all of the plants that you have just stemmed from this one that you have
Yeah.
taken and planted over and over again that have grown into.
propagation.
Yeah. Jade is just an amazing plant.
That's supposed to be good for like prosperity and what else are jades good for? It's kind of like one of those
Money.
The
things.
money plant, that's what it's called.
Okay.
The money tree.
Okay.
Fun fact about plants, one should never buy an orchid. It should be a gift.
A gift. I've heard
Same
this
with
before.
bamboo.
I've bought in both.
Yeah, apparently it has bad energies when you buy them for yourself, but if someone gives them to you, it's good for prosperity.
So can you ask someone to buy it for you? Is that what that means?
You just have to lay
I
heavy
think
hints.
that would be a loop in the universe of spirits, so I don't see why not.
I remember orchid was my best friend's favorite plant. We used to gift them back and forth to each other, and she always liked to give me a purple one, and I always wanted to give her a pink one.
That's cute.
Sweet.
And anytime I see orchids, I'm like, oh, I want one. But like, I know I can't around my cats because they'll just eat them up.
Yeah.
But they're so pretty.
Yeah.
It almost makes you think when you're talking about like the gifting thing, like that's a thing they say about tarot cards. That you're not supposed to buy your tarot, but we break that rule all the time.
Oh yeah.
We're just like, oh no, I want that tarot deck.
Because you have to divine with it and know if it's right for you.
And they're just so pretty. So is tarot something that you mess with or enjoy?
Funny enough, Claire and I think either on the same day.
On the same day, we bought the
exact same
Not
tarot
even
set.
Not even knowing. We just sent pictures to each other.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at this cute Halloween deck I got. And she's like, oh my goodness, I have the same deck that I bought today.
I think I know the deck. There seems like to be like one really popular Halloween deck with like old kind of animation style.
Yeah, it's the Halloween tarot deck.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Now, unfortunately, she's been hiding a while, so I don't know where she's at. I think she's still at my mother's place, so I need to go through my boxes. So, Halloween Tarot, if you're listening through the cosmic universe, if you could make your presence known.
Then you just go home and find them on your pillow.
That'd be perfect. When did you start reading tarot? Or like, have you been studying, or do you just kind of do it intuitively?
So I try to do most things intuitively, because I literally don't know where to start.
I mean, intuitively, I personally feel like is the best. I mean, a good way to start. For me personally, I say the best because that's the only. I don't like to read. I just trust my instincts.
Yeah, Claire's taught me a lot about instinctual witchcraft and how you should always, like, if it feels right, it is right.
Yeah.
Oh, just like her mama. That's I feel like what Wendy's always been pushing me to do, because I started out just like trying to figure out what is witchcraft and see what the book said, because I was a nerd, so I'd read and read and read. And then when we started like collaborating, it was more like, well, just trust yourself. And it was like, books be damned. Like, I've got a good foundation, now let's go.
Right.
So for me, it was kind of a mix. But I'm always encouraging new witches to like not get so bogged down by all those rules and really just trust yourself.
Now, granted, I do use Google a lot because I'm not familiar with card readings, really. So I don't know necessarily all the time what Two of Cups is trying to tell me.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
But when I perfect that, I think I'll have a good blend of learned and intuitive tarot readings.
Like, I think it's okay to use your resources. Like, even if you've been reading tarot for a long time, if you want to have your book, that's just fine.
Yeah. I do that all the time still.
Sometimes you just want to double check. You're like, you right? You sure, universe? And then it's like,
Yeah.
Especially for yourself, because I feel like for me, it's always harder to read for myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like for other people, you can see the message clearly.
Right, because you're like,
you're not emotionally attached to the outcome.
Yeah, you're like, what? You're giving me this card? Again?
Sometimes the universe wants to yell at you.
I know.
About something.
It's like I'm not learning my lesson, man.
Tarot, yeah. Tell me about it.
Over and over again. Okay, have you ever divined with anything else besides the tarot? Like, do you use a scrying stone, or what kind of other things have you used before?
So, I've recently just bought some pendulum that I vibed with, because that's how I buy my witchcraft things. I'm like,
it's great.
That gives me vibes. I want it. So, I have a pendulum now. I haven't really blessed it yet because I've been very busy, and I just got it from a witchcraft shop that was haunted quite recently, so I haven't had a chance to use it yet. But scrying's really not something I've done a lot of in my life.
What was the crystal that you got?
Oh man.
Or what color even?
It was green.
Okay.
So I want to say malachite.
Nice.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
a haunted witchcraft shop. What can you say about that?
So it was this cute little boutique in Buffalo, New York. And my friend, I was staying with them for the weekend, and they're like, you have to go to the paranormal shop. So we went, and they had like an alien cut out in the window facing you. And I'm like, this is going to be a good experience. So we went in, and the guy was super friendly, and he was like telling us about his shop, and he had a little case of haunted items. I'm like, every paranormal shop needs a case of haunted items. And there was a good hunting aspect, a lot of hoodoo, stones, cards, alien paraphernalia if you want to just buy some really cool alien glasses.
Dang.
It just had a lot, and they were doing sugar skulls for a birthday party because someone's sweet 16. They were just going to go to the haunted shop and do some sugar skulls. And so it was a really quite eclectic shop, but it had some really good vibes. And the owner told me that it used to be a old tuberculosis ward. So it was a split building. So one side was triage and the other side was doctor's offices. But they had like 40 beds on the second and third floor. So it transitioned from that into a car insurance office, and they're like, insurance sales is not very conducive with haunted places.
Imagining Jake from State Farm, and he's like, pardon me, I've got to take care of this spirit really quick before I can help you with your quote.
Pardon me, we have an exorcism in the back, so we'll be right there. Please look over the brochures.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of ghost experiences they have, like if it's a doctor ghost or patient ghost, or if stuff moves. Did you hear anything about specifics?
So the owner told me this story of a woman who was looking through the merchandise. So she was looking through the shirts, and she was lifting them up for the sizing. And apparently one of the stacks next to her, one flew up about 4 feet into the air and then fell back down.
Nice.
So that was one. And also the bathroom has bad vibes.
Okay.
So the back bathroom for employees, not a good time.
That would suck if that was like your one alone time during your job, but it's a scary experience.
You're like,
do I take a break or
power through 4 more hours? I don't need to go.
Go to the McDonald's down the street.
Yeah. So you clearly believe in ghosts, I take it?
Yes. I had an experience when I was a teenager in what was formerly my best friend's house. And we were reading the fan fiction My Immortal, which just makes this even better if you're aware of what it is. It's this terrible Harry Potter fan fiction. So I was reading it aloud because the writing is hilarious, and my friend was probably laying about 4 feet behind me. So I was at a computer desk, and I heard someone about an inch away from my ear gasp.
Oh.
Flew out of the chair into my friend's arms, and we're like, oh god, we both heard that.
They heard it too?
Yes.
Oh wow. They must have really liked the fanfic.
And so we were there paralyzed for about 15 minutes and then went to bed, obviously, as one would for their first experience. But her mom was telling me later that the house is really close to railroad tracks. So they used to bring over the injured and dying workers to the house. And then it would also have the family members laid out in the bottom living room. So a lot of happenings are there.
Yeah.
So
it's the benefit of an East Coast home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
this is a mortuary and your home.
It's both. But I think it was just like a family thing because funeral homes are expensive. So they're like, we're just going to lay out our uncle in our living room. And
I think that was normal.
That was
before
very
the
typical.
Funeral business came in and made it not normal to like care for your own dead family members.
They were like, by the way, if you want to embalm your family member, we need to do that for you. You can't do that at your home.
I kind of think that's sad. Like it's just like a service that's probably we're paying too much for.
Right.
And it's definitely taking out the closure process of it.
Yeah. Like we have such a weird relationship with death in America. Like if we were to do that, I think it'd be a healthy process.
Right. Yeah, we used to sit with the dead body in our home for up to a week so that you could have all the experiences of going through the process.
Can you imagine like learning how to do the dressings and all that too? Like if that just got passed down from us at a young age, it would have been normal. And
yeah. I'm like, right now I'm thinking I don't want to do this, but if it were normal, it'd be just like,
if we had done it at a young age or something.
I am definitely jealous of cultures where death is more prominent in the living's life because I feel in the culture in which I grew up in, I lost a lot of my ability to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I think of my loved ones passing, it's either a denial process or like I'm just going to lose my mind. And
Right. It's unhealthy. We've learned all these unhealthy habits because of conditioning that's just been continually passed down in America, unfortunately.
There's a lot of fear, I
Mhm.
guess. Like, that's the one way my family would deal with it, is just, like, shock and fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because everyone else was shocked and fearful of our grandfather being sick all the time, it was a rhetoric that I heard since I was, like, a tiny baby. So by the time he passed when I was a teenager, I was like, dang, he made it a long time. I feel ready for this. Like, you guys were talking like he was going to die when I was 4, and, you know,
Right.
I'm an adult now, so this is great.
Yeah.
But I don't think most people saw it that way, and I've always kind of been, like, kind of at terms with death. Like, it's just a natural cycle, and so I've always expected it. Maybe because I had pets and I saw them pass a lot.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Death. I don't do so well with death. I feel like it's been prominent in my life, my whole life. Once somebody I know passes, I have a hard time, but if I never knew them and I'm speaking with the spirit, I'm fine with that. It's sort of strange.
It's like a disassociation, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
at that point, if you didn't know them and you're just dealing with the spirit.
Right. So then you already told us that you've been somewhere haunted. Do you have any haunted places that you would love to go that's like on your bucket list besides the Mothman adventures that you just told us about?
So I plan like 11. That's an over exaggeration. It's 3. But I just have so many places. Like there's the southern route I want to go from Georgia to Louisiana. Hit all of those states minus Alabama. Like Savannah, the so many plantations in Louisiana, New Orleans. Mississippi has great haunts. I know I also really want to go to Salem, Massachusetts.
That's like a
Connect
bucket.
there. I've been to some haunted places in England.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you had been to Europe.
Yeah, I definitely went to the tower. And now I wasn't really connected back then, so I don't remember if I was really intuitively there, because I was just like, oh, look at all the placards, I want to read all the history.
What tower was it?
The Tower of London.
I'm assuming.
The-
Yeah, so what is the lore there?
Well, there's Anne Boleyn's ghost,
Okay, yes. We
and
talked about that a little
then
bit.
there's a lot of guards. They have a good crow raising program. That's just the alive humans that I think it's neat. But there are also the little boy kings that were killed and stashed under the stairs.
Little boy kings?
Yeah, so I believe it's around the time of Richard III, who usurped the crown. There were 2 regents who were going to become kings. They were like 9 and 7 or something. And I know one of them's name was Edward, and I can't remember the other one's name. But they were taken to the tower because, of course, the uncle wanted the throne, and because he was the beneficiary until they reached the age of majority at the time. He took them to the tower, had them murdered, and then put their bodies in a staircase.
It seems lazy. Like, of all the places, why would you keep them at home?
Also sad.
Yeah, the
That
tower is extremely sad, so you
Yeah.
can see where their rooms used to be. So that was very moving. I remember that because I was like, oh no, so sad.
Right.
Yeah, so England's real haunted.
Yes.
If you do want to go to some old-timey jails, they definitely have a lot of tours. I do suggest.
Nice. Did you go on tours, I take it?
Unfortunately, we didn't go on the Jack the Ripper tour. I would have enjoyed that one. But we did go on some walking tours of the old historical places. Like, I definitely got a priest mad at me at Westminster because I was taking photos, but it was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I gotta say, I was thinking Jack the Ripper. Like, I remember growing up thinking he was this most notorious killer, that he killed all these people. But then as an adult, I looked back into Jack the Ripper and
it was like 4 people.
Yeah, I was like, 4 people? That's it? In today's
you can
standards,
do that
that's not very much.
No.
by just crashing into someone's car.
Right.
Come on, Jack.
Yeah, so I was like, so what makes him this notorious killer, and why is he the worst one when we've had so many more?
I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of notorious. I like to say Elizabeth Bathory is.
Yeah.
Suspectedly, she killed 600 servant girls, but then again, the Catholic Church lies, and
True.
she was Protestant. So that's some turmoil in Hungary / Romania / Transylvania's history. But why Jack the Ripper was, I think it was the ineptitude of the police at the time to apprehend someone going after women in the, I believe, southeast London, because that was where prostitution was big. But I don't know.
I kind of wanted to backtrack on reincarnation.
Yeah.
And see, did you want to talk about any of your thoughts on it, or anything you thought you unpacked about your past lives?
So I have to say, Wendy's been really helpful for me with this entire journey. So through my dreams and travelings, I had a strong sense for about 2 of them, where one of them was 1550s centered in either England or France, and I was nobility, and another one recently where I died in a car crash. So I believe Claire said something to her mom. It was like, hey, Taylor has past lives. Do you want to do a reading? And she did. You sent me a whole Google document.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Whole Google document of all my lives. And I know I had a Greco-Roman one, the 1500s one. Actually, I probably still have it, but I feel at this point it would take me too long to locate it. There were about 4, weren't they?
Yeah, there were about 4. That's about what I remember, and just that you did kind of vibe with them. Like,
yeah.
It made sense to you.
And I have had several dreams in regards to all of them, in which...
Like prior to the reading?
Some prior, some after.
Okay.
So it's just a continuation. So it's not all like, oh, she told me this, so I'm going to dream about it. Like, some of it was brought knowledge.
Yeah. I do have to say, the more and more past life readings I do for different people, that I find that happens. It's almost an unlocking process. That it's like, oh, this click. And then all of a sudden, sometimes people get flooding memories, and that's intense. That can be intense for people.
Yeah, an awakening. Did you feel like learning about those past lives helped you deal with things in this life?
Well, one of them was a strong connection to cholera, so no. Can't say that one was really relevant. But there was a profound sadness in a lot of them, and so I've been trying to heal some of that because it has carried over into this life somehow, whether genetically or spiritually or a combination. So I've been trying to work on that profound sadness to help heal everybody in my spirituality.
That's something most people don't want to do, is face the sadness. It's like you were mentioning earlier, a lot of them are like, put it to the side in a folder and not deal with it.
Well, one therapist a while ago told me I need to sit in my sadness and collectively look it in the face and then figure out why I'm sad. So I've been taking that method to deal with my past lives.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people don't want to cry, but as a crier, I'm like, no, I'm going to feel my emotions right now, so I'm not repressing them for later. Yeah. So I think it's good to not deny what you're feeling, or just suppress it with, like, maybe an antidepressant drug or a painkiller, because pain is important. It's where we learn our lessons. Right. And where we learn our strengths. So
sometimes you need that medication to get you balanced enough so that you can take a look at that stuff, so don't forget that too.
True. Yeah,
I
balance.
Found a good balance between spirituality, physical medication, and therapy efforts, which my therapist is delving into some Reiki, but
yes, I'd love to hear this.
Different terms. So it's called EDMR, and she did definitely explain what that meant to me, but I definitely don't remember. And essentially, we've created a safe space, which was a childhood park for me, which had a creek in it and some woods, so it was nature-based. And I take parts of my wounded self. So we figured out who they were, why they didn't want to get help, and then we put them there. And then we sent out resources, we call them. So they're just parts of myself and parts of my friends who have helped me in the past with healing to help heal my wounded selves. So we have my nurturing self, which is my caregiver, the protective self, which is a loyal person to my friends where I would do anything for them, and my spiritual self, which is just a disembodied feeling. So they're all in my little safe space to help me deal with my wounded selves.
I love that. I feel like I'm going to take that with me and try to apply that when I do shadow work, like put my little shadow selves there and maybe not just think, okay, that's closed, they're done, but they're actually kind of like always growing and evolving too, and I can always check up on them. And I like that you're kind of disassociating these aspects of yourself. Like, we are our own protectors, you know, we all do have like that energy inside of ourselves to protect ourselves and nurture ourselves. So that is so cute and a really great, powerful visual exercise, I think, too.
Yeah,
it's a great visual exercise, and we also do strengthening techniques for the resources. So we do this tapping thing on our arms so we can imbibe our spirit into them to strengthen them for our wounded selves. So that's really nice too.
I love that.
Me too. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about the tapping techniques, like tapping on the temple or different, like on your eyebrow bone, like stuff like that, and how it can release like positive things and positive emotions in you, and you can say like affirmations while doing it. So these are good techniques.
Yeah, it's very Eastern medicine, and that's why I like it. And I think some of that stuff is finally slowly coming into America. It would just like more. I'd like more.
Yeah, I think just talking about it is good too, because we didn't talk about mental health as much as we do now in these modern times. And like, if people said, oh, I had to see a therapist, we'd be like, oh, well, what's wrong with you? Not like, oh, that's good, we should all be seeing therapists. Like, that's just what we need to do as humans. We need to like clear out the cobwebs in our brain. So I think it's good to have conversations openly about that stuff.
Yeah. No more are the days where we just shove our women into a place because they have
uterine hysteria.
I'm like, oh, not this again. Talk about some repressed memories.
I know. Yeah, that's where my past life I was. I swear. I was like, I'm pretty sure I got locked up once. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Someone got institutionalized. I died from diarrhea.
Happens.
Definitely did back then.
Yeah.
I know. Sad times.
I feel like we hit our gamut of all of our like little topics.
Yeah.
We talk about aliens, cryptids, witchy stuff. Is there anything we left out?
I don't see anything on the list, but what do you feel?
I feel like we've coalesced all these good things.
Yeah.
So
we like to hit all the points, and sometimes we have one thing that we talk about with our guests, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about everything because I like it all.
Yay. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us today. Yes. I hope you had fun.
Of course. I am an avid listener.
Aww.
So I'm glad to be a part of the experience now.
Yay. That's so awesome.
I love it.
It was good to have you here. And thanks, Claire, for joining us, being our emotional support.
Yeah. And now we're going to do an after show where we kind of talk about things that we did last night. So I'm excited to talk about that and maybe even expand on it a little bit more. So.
All right. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the after show. And if not, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
So if you want to find us more, you can go to our website, cousenscoven.home.blog. You can sign up for our newsletter, read our little poems and spells and all that kind of fun stuff. If you're looking to find a place where all of our episodes can be found in one spot, I would head over to YouTube or anywhere podcasts can be found and send in your emails to cousenscoven2@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And may you find happiness in your heart, love for yourself, and joy in each other. Blessings to all.